First, we're going to talk about Zuby's 20 things that he's learned or had confirmed about humanity during the pandemic. Now, this is a great list, and I really like a lot of the points that he's basically calling out a lot of people, and I'm sure you'll agree with a lot of these things. First one on the list is most people would rather be in the majority than be right. Now that's huge because, people are sheep, right? I actually have a pinned tweet right now that says, the more I learn, the more I realize that people are sheep. And it's kind of sad, a realization as I've gotten older. I've seen that. And that's kind of what this feels like. It's like people would rather be part of the flock, right, than stand alone and be ridiculed, but be right. And that's a rather sad existence, I think. Number 2, at least 20% of the population has strong authoritarian tendencies, which will emerge under the right conditions. And what's sad about that is that 20%, those are the people that want the power. Those are the people that are seeking out positions of power. The people who don't want power, those are the ones who should be ruling, right? For a while I was trying to get Tim, Tim Poole, you should run. You should, try to get into politics. No, I never want to do that. It's like, yeah, but you have really good ideas. You've invested your life in understanding the intricacies of politics and, the media and everything. You're kind of the perfect person to help run things. I don't think any one person can solve anything, but, we need more people that don't want power, that aren't authoritarian, because this 20% that he's talking about here, they want the power. They're the ones who are going out and getting it. Number 3, fear of death is only rivaled by the fear of social disapproval. The latter could be stronger. These people are wearing masks and are getting vaccinated and have both, and whatever you want, that's fine. Follow your doctor's advice, but the fear of death should be alleviated with getting the vaccine, right? So, they're now facing this social disapproval, and they're like, oh, I can't even deal with that. People are not saying that they voted for Trump for fear of being fired, canceled, or whatever. Even saying you're conservative nowadays. I want to say that I lost friends when I said that I had this whole thing last year when I was like, I'm voting for Trump. I see the lies, the media spewing. I actually like his policies. He's actually a pretty amazing president. If you look at him, at what he's doing as a president, he's pretty good. And I lost so many friends, but they weren't even my friends because they were brainwashed sheep, right? It's hard to be friends with people that aren't aware of their surroundings, aware of what's actually going on right now. So, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. Number 4, propaganda is just as effective in the modern day as it was 100 years ago. Access to limitless information has not made the average person any wiser. He's absolutely right on this, right? People are brainwashed, just like I was saying. People are sheep. They believe whatever they're fed, and in their defense, okay, life is tough, right? You got bills to pay. You got to work. I mean, most people, I would hope most people are trying to work to survive in this world, right? They don't have time to do the research that I do, let alone someone like Tim Poole or, any of the other pundits out there that are, claiming to do work. I mean, I know Tim does an insane amount of research and has for a long time. So he has a lot of information under his belt, and he doesn't do any drinking. He's very clean cut. He prides himself on his work. I do a lot of research myself, and that's my job though. Most people's job isn't doing research on politics and understanding what's going on in the world. They just are hearing it from their peers or seeing it in whatever media source that they pop their head into and see for a little bit. Like, oh, that's the truth? Okay. I myself used to get my news from Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Right. I mean, I'm not joking. Like, I would be traveling around. I never watched the news. I'd be playing video games. I'd be, off wherever I'm, traveling around the world. And I never watched mainstream media, but I would listen to him because I thought he was funny, because I thought what he was reporting on was true. But then I found out that he was actually making jokes and reporting on stuff that was not all of his stuff, mind you. Some of his deep dives into like pharmaceutical companies taking advantage of people, and like half of the stuff I'd say is really good reporting and journalism that he does. The other half is basically making jokes on fake news, really. So I kind of like propaganda. 100 years ago, people only had the one newspaper, versus now it's kind of the same thing and almost worse, because they've weaponized it, and now you can't even be a conservative without being attacked. It's craziness. And we're going to go talk about it later with Joe Rogan. You can't just have an honest discussion with people about what they believe. If they don't believe what you believe, then they're your enemies suddenly. It's craziness. All right, let's move on. Number 5, anything and everything can and will be politicized by the media, government, and those who trust them. I mean, I feel like we just kind of went over that, right? That's what's happening right now. Every single thing is being politicized. Whether someone identifies as a man or a woman, that's being politicized, right? People are attacking each other in the streets. Okay, rather it's more Antifa's attacking peaceful protesters that don't want, a little girl to see a dude's, wang in the girls section of a spa. It's like, look, if you want to be a woman, if you think you're a woman, cut it off, do the full 9, and then I'll call you a woman. That's how I feel about it. Let's see. Many politicians and large corporations will gladly sacrifice human lives if it is conducive to their political and financial aspirations. Now, there's obvious things that I want to say about the past year and a half that go hand in hand with this. I'm not going to, because I have 2 strikes on my channel. I think you can do the math yourself. But I agree with that. And it is absolutely frightening. Number 7, most people believe the government acts in the best interests of the people. Even many who are vocal critics of the government. Right. I just, if you really think that they're really have your best interest at heart, you're sorely mistaken. It's it's sad because there's people that got into government to help people. It's not to say that like every government employee has it out for you, that is selfish, that only wants to stuff money in their coffers. That's not the way it works. That's like saying all cops are, we'll just say ACAB, because that's ridiculous also. Sure, there's bad apples, and I feel like in the government, the bad apples just happen to be at the very top. And are slowly convincing everyone that they're right. Number 8, once they have made up their mind, most people would rather to commit to being wrong than admit that they. Oh, hold on. Most people would rather commit to being wrong than admit they were wrong. Okay. Yeah, exactly. All right, so. My goodness, that is ridiculous too. I'm very grateful that I had a friend of mine. Now this is what a real friend is. This friend was in a group of friends of mine who are very much left. Everyone but him cut me out because I voted for Trump. And he called me up and he was like, "Hey, I want to know about like why. What made you change? Because I'm hearing all these things from all these people about how, you are now the devil, essentially, right? And he said, like, here's this reason I don't like Trump. Here's this reason. And I said, okay. Oh, that reason? Well, here's the truth of the matter. And you can look it up here. Oh, this reason? Well, here's another thing. You can look it up here. And he called me back a week later and said, wow, I did that research and you were right. So that's like the silver lining there. It's like most people would rather stick with being wrong than admit they were wrong. Most people. Most people don't even want to face it, to be honest. All right. Number 9, humans can be trained and conditioned quickly and relatively easily to significantly alter their behaviors for better or worse. I mean, what kind of a world are we living in right now? I feel like it's kind of self-explanatory at this point. We have all changed our lives because of this. And I'm not going to go into the ridiculousness of it as much as I would love to. Number 10, when significantly frightened, most people will not only accept authoritarianism, but demand it. This is a frightening thing because this goes back to people being sheep, right? Most people don't want to fight for themselves because life is tough. You do have to fight. You do have to work hard in this world. People don't understand how much we are standing on the shoulders of giants that have led us to this point in life where where we are at the most free of any human ever. We have freedom to do whatever we want to do, and these people think they're oppressed. It's insane. What the people have done in the past to rise out of real oppression is just, it's amazing stories all around. Every time you look back and you really know where we are and what we have today, it's amazing. But these people are just so quick to just be afraid and welcome authoritarianism because it's easier. Just tell me what to do. Make sure I'm fed. That's what they think that they're going to get fed, right? Just look back at the Bolsheviks. It's craziness. All right. What's next here? Number 11, people who are dismissed as conspiracy theorists are often well-researched and simply ahead of the mainstream media. Who does that make you think of? Right, Alex Jones. How many Alex Jones was right memes have you seen over the past year? My goodness. Dude was right. First they banned Alex Jones. Well, I didn't speak up because I wasn't a conspiracy theorist, right? Now they just banned Nick Fuentes yesterday or something on Twitter. Or maybe it was today. I'm not really sure. I was kind of chilling today. I wasn't really into the internet news realm. It was kind of nice to take a breather from that. But people don't like what he has to say, but, not everyone, like it or not, it's like, we need the other side. We need opposing forces to, like, find out what the middle ground is, to see what, different offering opinions on the board. We need civil discourse. We have to talk. That's why Tim and I worked so well together, because we were just very fundamentally different and also very similar in many ways. It's interesting how similar we were and very different we were. We got to be able to talk and yet still remain friends. It's sad when that crumbles. Let's see. Number 12, most people value safety and security more than freedom and liberty, even if said safety is merely an illusion. Well, this is, there's a lot of things that I'd like to say about the last year, that because I have 2 strikes on my channel, I just need to steer very carefully here. They want safety and security because they don't want to do it for themselves. Freedom and liberty go hand in hand with self-accountability and working hard for your life. Freedom isn't free. You got to work for it. You got to work hard for your life. And if you don't want to, these people don't want to. They want to sit back and just have an easy life. Because guess what? Society, it's kind of spoiled a lot of human beings. All right? They don't know what they've got. We're spoiled as a society. Humans are spoiled. Come on, you know we are. We've learned and crafted society to spoil us. We don't have to walk for water. We go into the bathroom or the kitchen and turn on the faucet. Boom, there's water, right? We don't have to grow food. We just go to the store and buy whatever we want. Food-wise, boom, we got food. What kind of food you want? Any kind of food from all over the world we could probably get at the store. It's amazing how spoiled we've created. We've spoiled ourselves. It's amazing. Hedonic adaptation occurs in both directions, but once inertia sets in, it is difficult to get people back to normal. Oh man, what is even normal, right? What is the center line? There's a graph that I saw recently. In fact, I'll pull it up. It shouldn't take long to find. It's basically just Republicans and Democrats and where the average line lies. And it's interesting to have a visual of it. And it's from 1994, I believe, to 2004 to 2018, maybe. Here it is. So look at this. This is 1994. Democratic and Republicans, very similar. Democratic. It's the Democrats, not the Democratic. That's kind of weird, but yeah, you can see they're very similar. And there's the center line, like right in the middle. Even the Democrats is basically like centered here. Okay? And then actually the Republicans, it almost looks like they moved way left in 2004. And now in 2017, like the inertia is just pushing and going further and further, dividing us. Like, look how like the Democrats have just spun wildly left. And look, this is almost like a big flat line here. Like, there's still a huge bulk of people on the conservative side, the Republicans, that are still pretty centered compared to, like, sure, there's this spike here, but like this is a pretty big mound comparably to this one. It's pretty insane. So I don't know, man. Let's go with number 14. A significant percentage of people thoroughly enjoy being subjugated. This scares me. It goes back to people being sheep. They want an easy life. It's easy when you're like, in school and you're just told, all right, you're supposed to be over there at this time. You go here and eat at this time. You go here at this time. And now we're bringing back segregation. Like it's some sort of like virtuous movement that people need in society, which is just absolutely bonkers to me. And we're working these jobs that we don't even like. I mean, granted, I'm lucky. In my lifetime, I've had multiple jobs that I absolutely love. I got to travel the world for my job. I got to skate with my friends for my job. And now I get to do research and hang out with an awesome chat and have people show up with and listen to me daily, as this is my job. Like, I love this. This is incredible. Like, I don't want to work for anyone else. You know what? I never worked for Tim Pool. I worked with Tim Pool, and I think that's why it didn't work. Because I'm not someone's subordinate. I'm a boss. Like, I help make decisions, right? I have ideas, and I want those implemented because I think they're good ideas. Funny enough, some of them ended up being implemented anyway. But that's another story. The science has evolved into a secular pseudo-religion for millions of people in the West. This religion has little to do with science itself. Trust the experts. Trust the science. Science used to say that cigarettes were good for pregnant women. Would you think that was true now? No, because we've since proven that it's terrible. DDT used to be listed. This is great for kids. Or actually, it's terrible. Put asbestos in your walls because it keeps you warm. Puts it in your gloves, even though it gives cancer. Like, we think we're so smart until we learn the long-term effects of things. And this pseudo-religion that has turned these sheep into blind zealots, it's frightening. Again, I got to be kind of careful with how far I go with what we're talking about here. Zuby is an absolute beast on Twitter. If you don't know him, he snaps off a lot. Anyway, number 16, most people care about looking like they're doing the right thing rather than actually doing the right thing. Right. How many people are on Greta Thunberg, for example, right? Just someone who just randomly pops in my head. She's, oh man, how dare you go into the UN, yelling at us. Not just America's, but she's yelling at America. She's yelling at the UN. It's like, why aren't you yelling at China? China is like the worst polluter on the planet. They're making all of the crap that people buy, right? Yell at the fashion industry for just buying, remaking new products and changing products and dumping out the old fashion and making new stuff. And it's like, I wear the same t-shirts. How many times you guys see me wearing these shirts? Like, I use the same clothes. I don't need new clothes. I'm happy with what I got. I don't want to go buy stuff. Consumerism, right? Ah, man. People are they just want to act like they're being so virtuous when actually they're causing a lot of issues themselves. I bet Greta still goes shopping for stuff. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm jumping to assumptions, jumping to conclusions. But I'll tell you what, she's not calling China out. She's calling America out. Like, America's actually doing really good on trying to wean off of fossil fuels, which is the key. We have to, if we're going to get off fossil fuels, it can't be just, oh, nope, that's terrible. AOC wants to just shut off a coal plant for Puerto Rico. That's like 20% of their power. People would die. Sorry, AOC, you're clueless, because that's not happening. People would die in that sense. These people have no idea. It's funny. I bring up AOC and people acting like they're doing what's right instead of actually doing what's right, crying at the border when Trump was president, but not going down to the border when it's a really serious issue, worse than ever, right? Hey, AOC, why aren't you crying down at the border when these people they're just sending kids over now by themselves. They're finding little 9-year-olds under underpasses. It's like, where's the tears? Crocodile tears. AOC is a crocodile. Number 17, politics. The media, science, healthcare industries are all corrupt to varying degrees. Scientists and doctors can be bought as easily as politicians. Trust the science. As I said earlier, trust the science. Anyone can be bought. Every single human being has it in them to be greedy. So I'm going to leave it at that because that's a delicate subject. Number 18, if you make people comfortable enough, they will not revolt. You can keep millions docile as you strip their rights by giving them food, money, and entertainment. Sheeple. That's what's happening. They're slowly taking everyone's rights away. They really want everyone's guns, because if they take everyone's guns, then they can drop the hammer down. And China can take over the world. They've already said that they've wanted to. They said it years ago. Now they're basically saying, all right, we're going to do this now. Now that we don't really have any opposition anywhere. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. Number 19, modern people are overly complacent and lack vigilance when it comes to defending their own freedoms from government overreach. America was founded to stop authoritarianism happening. Even the founding fathers knew that they would be corrupt with power, and they were like, we have to keep the power to the people. That's why the states, it's the United States. States have a lot of power, right? The federal government probably hates that. They're pushing their Capitol Police around the country right now. Why does the U.S. Capitol Police need offices in California and Florida? Why? What's the point of that? Why are they doing that? Why are they pumping money into a police force, a federal police force? What's going on? Why are they defunding the police but then funding their own police? That's weird. We got to be aware of that. It's easier to fool than to convince them that they have been fooled. Is that C.S. Lewis? I feel like that's an old quote from something, and I don't remember what it is. But that's, man, does that hold true, right? It's easier to fool a person than to convince them that they have been fooled. I was fooled for a long time. I voted for Obama in 2008. Then I wasn't really political for a long time. I thought I was helping making a difference, right? It's like I just was a default Democrat because I thought that was, I was brainwashed. Like, honestly, I don't even understand why I felt the need to, other than like, it was awesome to see like how far America has come to see a black president. Like, that's amazing, right? But now we've had it and we've proven that we're not racist, but now somehow we're racist. I mean, that's really not like the proof, but like how far, what else do we need to prove that, it's like he's a black man rose to the most powerful seat in the country. It's amazing, right? But it's not enough. Get red pill. We need more people red pilled, honestly. And then, that was it. That was 20. And then he had a bonus thought here. He said, most people are fairly compassionate and have good intentions. This is good. And that's the beauty of it. I agree wholeheartedly right there, that last one. And I'm glad he put that in there because I agree with that. I think most people's hearts want to get along with others. I think that is innately in us, like community vibe, like our want to be social. Like, we are social beings. We got here by teaching each other, sharing knowledge, writing down knowledge, passing knowledge down throughout the centuries. Like, you look past, back in history, we wouldn't know what we know today if it wasn't for passing knowledge along, being social creatures. And people want other people to be happy in life. Like, I want all of you, every single one of you listening to me, even my haters, if there's haters out there, I want you all to have a good day and like live a prosperous life. I want everyone to live a prosperous life. And we should all want that in our fellow man. Like, that's how it should be. Like, regardless of your race, regardless of your gender, it doesn't matter. Everyone should have a happy life. Like, I want that for everyone. And I think that holds true with most people. So thank you, Zuby. You are a boss. If you guys don't know, definitely go follow Zuby. He's a independent rapper, author, podcaster, coach. I actually have a signed book from him, Strong Advice. He every so often he'll do a physical copy, and I got one from him last year. So thank you, Zuby, for that. You did a really good breakdown as far as just what's going on in the world, and a lot of the reasons why we're in this mess that we're in right now is because of those issues that you put down.